Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavad-gita as it is, chapter 9, text 13, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Those who know the verse can chant after me. It's a well-known verse from Bhagavad-gita. Mahatma nastu mang partha Daiving prakritim ashritaha Bhajantyananya manaso Yatva bhutadim avyayam. Mahatma, this word is being described. The word Mahatma is known in the Western world. It's one of those Sanskrit words which has become well known in the Western world. The word Mahatma in particular has become well known in the Western world, I suppose largely due to Mahatma Gandhi, as he is known. However, as Srila Prabhupada explains in the first line of the next purport, the Mahatma cannot be manufactured by rubber stamping an ordinary man. Rubber stamping. Mahatma. He has become a Mahatma by a rubber stamp or vox populi. However, like all of these words which are misused, all these words, common words that are misused, the term Mahatma has a specific definition. What other words, Sanskrit words, have entered the Western lexicography? Various Western lexicographies, I should say. Dharma. Chakra also? Yoga. Karma. Guru, yeah. Bhakta? Well, that's among the devotees. Buddha. Yeah, that's a personal name. Meditation, that sounds more like Latin derived. Oh. Mahatma, yeah, that's the word. Karma, yeah. Alright, there's a good potpourri to get started with. Now, all these words are misunderstood. They're not understood according to their original definitions. So it's very important to understand the definitions of these words. Of course, there are various theories that you can define words in any way you like. But that undermines the purpose and use of language. For instance, if I say that when I say man, I mean woman, or vice versa, things get confusing. For instance, if a man is found in the woman's toilet, he may say, well, according to my understanding, woman means man, and man means woman, but it makes a socially inappropriate situation. But there are theories like this, that you can just, whatever you understand something to mean, that understanding is a fact for the individual, which is totally absurd, but goes on in the name of philosophy. Most of what goes on in the name of philosophy is absurd. Because then there are no defined frames of reference or ways of thinking. It just becomes a mental cacophony. So the Vedic literatures, they are meant for giving knowledge. Veda means knowledge. Knowledge and opinion are two distinct terms. Specifically, the Vedic literature is meant for giving knowledge of reality. What is reality? Here in the Vedic literature, especially in Bhagavad-gita, the appearance of reality is separated from the actual reality. Those who are chasing after the appearance of reality, they can never find the actual reality. That is described by Lord Krishna, the ultimate authority in Vedic knowledge. In the verse previous to the one which we have just read, Moghasha Mogha Karamarno Mogha Jnana Vichetasaha Rakshasim Asuring Chaiva Mohini Prakritim Mohining Shrita. Yeah, you can read the translation. So the verse which we are reading today, that describes the Mahatma, and specifically as one who is not bewildered. He doesn't live on the platform of, well, maybe it's like that, or maybe it's like this. But he is under the shelter of the divine energy. He is enlightened. Enlightenment, that's a popular word nowadays. Generally understood to mean someone whose consciousness floats in some nebulous, undefined, vaporous kind of situation. But here it's described as under the shelter of the divine energy. That divine energy has been described by Krishna as his divine energy. And the Mahatma is further defined as one who, ananya manasaha, with undeviated consciousness, worships Krishna, knowing Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Srila Prabhupada in the purport means the further explanation, says that the first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. That's the second sentence of this purport. And Srila Prabhupada dedicates the rest of the purport to explaining what are the symptoms, what is the meaning of a Mahatma being situated in the divine nature, which is also he is elucidating the various points made by Lord Krishna in the verse itself. So there is a contrast made here between bewildered persons and Mahatmas. Mahatma means a great soul. That's the literal translation. So Mahatma Gandhi was considered a great soul for his political efforts. But according to Bhagavad-gita, that is not the actual sign of a Mahatma. The actual sign of a Mahatma is that he is concerned with the spiritual world. As Srila Prabhupada writes here in the third sentence of this purport, he, the Mahatma, is not under the control of material nature. He's not concerned with ephemeral matters such as the political independence of a particular tract of land. But people who are under the control of material nature, they have no perception of the spiritual nature. And therefore they consider a great soul someone who is engaged in great activities on the material platform. But however great one's activities may be on the material platform, they are by definition not great because the material platform itself is not great. It's very difficult to understand a Mahatma because his greatness is not appreciated by persons who they have no appreciation of that. They have different values. Present in the world at the same time as Mahatma Gandhi was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So just as Mahatma Gandhi was busy with various activities, organizing political organizations, so Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was busy with a spiritual organization. And people gave much more credence to Mahatma Gandhi than they did to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We find also that our own spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's not appreciated properly. Certain popular spiritual leaders, head of various Christian denominations or Buddhist organizations, they are highly rated as religious leaders by persons who like such religious leaders. They fit the stereotype of a religious leader. They're religious. That means they're doing their thing. They're a monk or a priest, and they offer us some kind of religious path which we can follow or not follow, and it makes us feel good if we follow it. However, Srila Prabhupada wasn't like that. He didn't fit the stereotype of a religious leader. Once a TV journalist approached Srila Prabhupada and asked him that, what was the question exactly? I can't remember. what is the nature of your form of Buddhism? Something like that. He asked some kind of strange question. And they're all strange questions. Srila Prabhupada replied that we have nothing to do with this Hinduism or Buddhism. We are preaching the truth, and if you want, you can take it. He spoke personally to the journalist. So, to external vision, a Mahatma may appear to be an ordinary person. He eats, sleeps, walks, talks, travels here and there, apparently just like any other person. Pure devotees of Krishna may appear to get sick, they may become angry, and therefore persons of what they consider themselves to be highly developed intelligence can understand that, well, they're just like us, just a little bit different, that's all. However, the symptom of a Mahatma, as described by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad-gita, is that he does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna. This is the first clause of the second paragraph. The Mahatma does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna. And as a result of this, the Mahatma is protected by the divine energy of Krishna. He's in the shelter of the divine energy of Krishna. And although apparently one of us, he is in different category to that of conditioned souls. The material energy is the deluding potency by which everything that every conditioned soul perceives, he perceives wrongly. Everything a conditioned soul perceives, he perceives as paraphernalia for his personal enjoyment, which is impossible because the jiva cannot enjoy separately from Krishna. Therefore, the conditioned soul spends his whole existence like a dog chasing his tail. He cannot catch it. The endeavor is futile. Therefore, moghasha mogha karamano mogha jnana vichetasa rakshasing asaring chaiva prakriting mohining shritaha. Same conclude. This is the condition of the non-devotees. The previous verse, you can read it again. But because the pure devotees of Krishna are fully connected with Krishna and under the protection of his divine nature, they see everything clearly. We see trees, buildings, cars, roads. We see all these things as paraphernalia for my sense enjoyment. But a pure devotee sees everything in connection with Krishna, unfailingly. His vision he's not deluded. Therefore his perception of everything is in a different category to that of conditioned souls. Brahmapramad vipralipsa karanapatav arsha vigya vakya nahi doshe shab. The conditioned souls have 4 basic defects. They are illusion, they make mistakes, they have the cheating propensity and the imperfect senses. But these faults are not present in the words of self-realized persons, because their words are directed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead's internal energy. That internal energy is known as Antaranga Shakti or Bhakti Shakti, the energy by which devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is affected. So we see in the lives and the words of pure devotees this Bhakti Shakti, this powerful current of pure devotion. There is nothing shallow therein. We find in every action of Srila Prabhupada, everything he did, he was fully imbued with the spirit of pure devotional service to Krishna. That everything he spoke was imbued with the energy or the potency of pure devotion to Krishna. The words of pure devotees are imbued with potency, and thus by speaking and by acting, the pure devotees are able to pick up conditioned souls and place them also in the Bhakti Shakti. This is the sure characteristic or feature of one who is actually situated in the devotional energy. The ability to bring others also into that devotional energy, into devotional service. No one can bring others to devotional service by tricks or gimmickry. tricks, gimmickry. Okay, just say tricks. It's more or less the same thing. Devotional service is pure devotional service to Krishna is a natural propensity of the soul. It is not simply another transformation of the material energy. Any endeavors within the material energy cannot bring us to the spiritual energy. Only when we come in contact with the spiritual energy can the spiritual spark within us be enlivened. Therefore, bhaktis tu Bhagavad-bhakta sangena parijayate. Only by association with pure devotees can bhakti be transmitted. We practically see that, how Srila Prabhupada, by his association, people were lifted from the material consciousness to the spiritual consciousness of dedicating everything to Krishna. We see throughout Srila Prabhupada's books, although there are many subjects covered, but the current of pure devotional service to Krishna is prominent throughout. Any pure devotee, we see that. There are not so many in the world because they are rare. They're not common. You don't find Mahatmas loitering on every street corner. But fortunately, the Mahatmas, even after they leave this world, they remain in this world by their instructions and their writings. So we find in the writings, for instance, of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all the great pure devotees, this very powerful current of pure devotion to Krishna, the spirit of pure devotion to Krishna, that I have nothing in this world, I am only surrendered to you, Krishna. Sarvasvatoma charane sopya. This, for instance, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that I have dedicated everything at your lotus feet. I offer everything at your lotus feet. Manasa deho geho jo kichumo apilun tuapade nanda kishore. Whatever I consider mine, my mind, my body, my house, I offer in your service, O Krishna. I've surrendered that. So profuse writing, song after song, book after book, with this current of complete dedication to Krishna. So this consciousness of pure devotion to Krishna without any compromise, without any reservation, this is the characteristic of a pure devotee of Krishna. Those who have the spirit of halfway surrender to Krishna or quarter way to surrender to Krishna, they cannot imbue the spirit of full surrender to Krishna. Actually, there's no meaning to surrender except full surrender. Surrender means full surrender. And when one fully surrenders to Krishna, then he becomes fully under the protection of the divine nature of Krishna. So those who, by the mercy of pure devotees, become inspired by the spirit of pure devotion to Krishna, have to recognize the channel within which that pure devotion is moving. The words and actions of pure devotees are the guide for those who would want to be pure devotees. Due to the cheating propensity, sometimes persons take to devotional service and they want to redefine it according to their own understanding. And thus we have redefined words. Words like Guru, Dharma, Mahatma, they're redefined. The English or Slovene dictionary word for Guru, Dharma, Mahatma, etc. does not correspond to the dictionary of pure devotees. So this is a cheating activity to say, yes, I have a guru, I'm a disciple, but we've redefined the words guru and disciple, so the guru plus, we've redefined the words. So the actual result of guru and disciple coming together, it won't be affected. If actual guru and actual disciple come together, then the result must be pure Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada gave the example, if a man and a woman come together, then the natural result is a baby. That is the natural result of marriage. But just like in the secular field, they have redefined marriage, so instead of man plus woman, it's man plus man equals marriage, or woman plus woman equals marriage. And the result will not be a baby. You can call it a marriage because it has some of the external appearances of a marriage, but the natural result of marriage, namely baby, will not take place. So we can redefine Mahatma or Guru as someone who panders to our sense gratification in the name of spiritual life. And we can redefine disciple as someone who, for his sense gratification, makes a show of being spiritual. And in the dictionary of deluded persons, this is the way they define Mahatma, Guru, disciple, yoga, dharma, etc. And the result will be the same as every other word in the dictionary, which is illusion, repeated birth and death. And they will say, well, this is reality, because they don't know anything else and they don't want to know anything else. But Krishna, here in Bhagavad-gita, speaks from the platform of actual reality. And those who want to come to that platform will have to take Krishna's words very serious. Sarvam etadritang manye yang mang vadasi Keshava. This is how Arjuna accepted Krishna's words. That I accept everything you say, Krishna, as truth. So we will have to accept the words of Krishna's representative in the same way. The words of Krishna's representatives are as good as the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because the words of the representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not dictated by the material energy. That which is spoken by deluded persons is it's spoken from the platform of how can I obtain sense gratification. Everything is madness. Even if a deluded person, that means someone who has no intention to surrender to Krishna, even if they want to do something good, they don't know what is good. They cannot do anything good. That is why someone becomes praised as a Mahatma for some useless political activity that just increased the illusion of the persons he was trying to help. Even though reading Bhagavad-gita every night, the Mahatma, or the person known as Mahatma who I mentioned, was very much concerned with the condition of the Indian people. He was very much concerned with the condition of the Indian people. And thus he increased the consciousness of the spirit souls, the Atmas born within India, of that I am a product of this country. Dehatma Buddhi. And actually talking about definitions of words, the Mahatma, or the so-called Mahatma under discussion, deliberately misinterpreted the word Harijan, which means a devotee of Krishna, to mean the people in the lowest section of society. So we should very clearly understand all these points. What is the position of a fully realized devotee of Krishna? What is our position in relation with them? Our position is to follow. The other alternative is to follow our own mental concoctions. This is called Manoratham, the chariot of the mind, which the mind is pulled by the senses. And therefore, although we may think that we are very intellectual and we have many good ideas, but our ideas, we should know that they cannot be as good as the ideas of the self-realized soul. It's also a very great offense to think that, well, this guru, well, he's quite good, but he may have some opinion. I also have an opinion, and it's all the same. And rather, the path of purification begins by worshipping the words of the great souls. Guru Mokha Padma Vakya Chitete Korea Aika Ana Karihamane Asha. You can translate that. Alright, I'm supposed to speak up till 5 o'clock, so it's almost 5 o'clock, and if there are any questions, I'll take them now. Wow, that was... Now we need the photo to see who got up first. Olympic photos. Photo finish. Okay, what's your question, please?
Sometimes we see a person that he's practicing according to Shastra and previous acharyas, and we see statements how that person is so pure, so enlightened, and so beautiful and it's shining and this and that. And we are impressed, and then after some time, this soul doesn't seem to be doing that anymore. So that pure soul gives up the process, and then what we get bewildered because everybody thought he's so pure. But then he leaves, he goes away, doesn't want to practice anymore. So what is the real? Because at a certain time he was surrendered, at least he tried to be, to Prabhupada and like this. And what is a real symptom of a person? What is a real symptom of surrender? That means whole life, not just 20 years or 30 years.
Okay, translate the question.
Translate.
Well, you gave the answer in the question. That matches with a statement in one of the purports in Bhagavatam, a quote from Sri Madhvacharya, in which he says that the symptom of a pure devotee is his sustained endeavors in devotional service. Now, anyone who takes seriously to Krishna consciousness is a great soul, but they may not be, they've taken shelter, or they're attempting to take shelter of the divine energy. But unless one is fully situated within that divine energy, then there's always the possibility of fall down from it. So it requires to be full application, non-stop, day after day, year after year. No extracurricular activities. 24 hours a day, every day, one should be fully engaged in Krishna conscious activities. And the contamination may be subtle also, that one is following everything, but they're cultivating other desires. So yeah, we are at a phase within the Krishna conscious movement where this kind of question is asked often, and not surprisingly, considering the present or ongoing history, I guess you can call it. So it is a call for devotees to very carefully understand what Srila Prabhupada has given us by studying his books very carefully, not superficially. Is that all right? We can discuss these things all day and night and go on and on and on, but that
My main question was how to recognize that soul that will stay.
How to recognize? You can pray to Krishna. You can pray to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. We have general guidelines given in Shastra, but the Shastra gives general guidelines. Unless you go to the Brigu Hora or something like this, then you can't tell what's going to happen. The Shastra doesn't say it doesn't give such and such person will come and take up devotional service and then bloop. Shastra doesn't say that. It gives general guidelines. So you can pray to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada to guide you to that guidance by which you can be situated in the internal energy of Krishna. If you want it. We get what we want. Sarvasya chahang hridi sandivishto matasmriti jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna knows what we want. We get what we want. We get what we want and we get what we deserve. These are two factors. Yeah, please.
When illusioned person represents himself as a pure representative of Krishna and demands worship and glorification, what is the best way to deal with that person in Krishna consciousness?
Well, I don't have experience with persons demanding worship. I didn't come across anyone who grabbed me by the throat and said, "Now you have to worship me." Maybe if you rephrase that to accept worship, that might be more realistic. But I don't see anyone demanding. I don't know if it's such a relevant question.
Not physical worship, but more like following, accepting his authority, accepting his ideas as absolute submission, subordination.
Absolute submission and subordination by a person who's not perfect. Well, interestingly enough, even Srila Prabhupada, who we all accepted axiomatically as perfect, never claimed himself to be perfect. He said that I'm simply following my spiritual master. So that is the test, that no one should claim to be independently perfect, but he he may say that you can follow me because I'm following my guru who is perfect, and he's perfect because he follows his guru who is perfect, and ultimately that comes to Krishna. So of course the actions should match first of all, the words of one who claims to represent Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas should match those of Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas. And the actions should also. Now, exactly to behave in the same way as Srila Prabhupada, that's not expected. For instance, that Srila Prabhupada went on a morning walk every morning, that's not required to be a follower of Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada went on a morning walk every morning, therefore to be a follower of Srila Prabhupada, I also have to go on a morning walk every morning. That's a misunderstanding. But Krishnarte Akila Cheshta, that all endeavors should be done for the sake of Krishna, this spirit should be imbibed. All activities should be done for the sake of Krishna, according to the instructions of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So if one lives like that, speaks like that, then he's within the divine energy and may accept service and even worship according to the Shastric direction, not thinking that, come and worship me, I'm worshipable, but rather as a function that is given by Krishna himself. As Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained, that the Guru, he is to explain the Srimad Bhagavatam to his disciples. So what should he do when he comes to the section of Bhagavatam when Krishna speaks about the Guru to Uddhava? Krishna says, Acharyang mang vijani annavamanyeta karhi chitna martya buddhya suyeta sarvadeva mayo guru. Krishna says that one should know the Acharya as me. Literally says, non-different from me. Should be understood like this. And should not be disrespected in any way. He should not be considered an ordinary mortal or envied, because he is the representative of all the demigods or all the devotees. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, then what should the Guru do when he's explained this to his disciples? Should he change this and said instead the Guru should instruct his disciples that you should get a whip and beat the Guru? Yeah. It's his duty to teach the Shastra. And the principle that a disciple should worship his Guru is prominent in Shastra. So a Guru should teach that, but not thinking that I am a Guru, but he should think that I am accepting this role as a service to my Guru who instructed me thus. You have the choice of either being so humble and not accepting disciples, or following your Guru's order to accept disciples. So what's more important? What was better? Should Hanuman have been a humble Vaishnava, or should he have burned Lanka? What was better? Should have been well behaved, not made bad PR. Hanuman is praised for burning Lanka, among other things. So, without thinking oneself as worshipable. I am not worshipable, but by the mercy of my Guru, he's given me this gift of Krishna consciousness, and he's instructed me to give this to others, and giving this to others includes this function of accepting worship. Of course, that's not all. It's not that you just accept worship and that's all. But the worship is offered because the Guru is the representative of Vyasa, and Vyasa's words are worshipable. So as a function of worshipping Vyasa and all the Acharyas, one worships them in the personage of the Guru who is presently manifested, and serving him in various ways. Understanding that by serving him, all the Acharyas are worshipped. As Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also said, if a Vaishnava becomes a Guru, he ceases to be a Vaishnava. Because a Vaishnava always thinks himself the most low, but then a Guru has to take a position of superiority in order to instruct. Just like Arjuna couldn't fight in the battle without being angry, so a Guru cannot instruct without taking a superior position. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that, a Vaishnava ceases, he ceases to be a Vaishnava if he becomes a guru. But if he doesn't become a guru, then the disciplic succession comes to an end. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Ami to Vaishnava buddhi hoilo amani na hobo ami pratistasha ashi hridoy dushibe hoibo niroigami. He said that if I think I am a Vaishnava, Ami to Vaishnava buddhi hoilo, then I'll be puffed up. That's why we don't go around saying, well, I'm a devotee. I've been a devotee for 30 years. Again, use of language. It's important how we use words, what we say. It actually helps us in advancement in devotional service to use phrases like, I've been accepted in the society of devotees for 30 years or whatever. Yeah, if I think I'm a Vaishnava, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, then the desire for honor will contaminate my heart, and therefore I'll become a prime candidate for going to hell. Tai shishya tava takiya sarvada na loibe puja ka. He says, therefore I'll remain your disciple. Always, and not accept any disciples. He also accepted disciples. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, I never accepted any disciples. He said this to a meeting of his disciples. What's this? This is some kind of double talk. That's what gurus are famous for, isn't it? Double talk. But he explained that they're all my prabhus. They're all sent by my spiritual master to engage me in devotional service. So it is... I'll go back to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We have so many songs of his expressing intense humility. But with his disciples he was strict. He took charge of them. He didn't allow nonsense talk. So the pure devotee, he considers himself very fallen and lowly and unqualified, but as a service to his guru, under the order of his guru, which he cannot deny, he takes charge of the spiritual lives of others. So with this kind of understanding, on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order, everyone should be a guru. But for one's own name, fame, glory, and all this kind of thing, then it's a disaster. So even though one may, in the beginning, have a mentality of service, that can also change. So one has to be very careful. Tai shishya tava takiya sharvata. One always has to remember that a Vaishnav, others may see him as guru, but he sees himself as disciple. As long as he sees himself as disciple, he can be a guru. As soon as he thinks I'm a guru, he's not fit even to be a disciple. Alright, shall we finish there? Any other question? Alright. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay, you're just waiting to see if I didn't talk too much nonsense. Then you're going to give it. Alright, good. This garland was grown, the flowers were grown by who? Who's? Mohini Radha, disciple of Jayapataka Swami? Oh, okay, alright. Who's she here now? It's growing flowers for offering to Krishna. That's very nice. Would you like to take this? That's a very important service, to grow flowers to offer to Krishna. Krishna likes flowers more than jewels and gems and gold and silver. So fresh flowers every day, very important for serving Krishna. So please bring your flowers for Krishna every day. By that alone, you can go back to Godhead.